Welcome back to Co-op Radio 102.7 FM CFRO. This is Monday Brown Bagger. My name is Reginald Angus Argue. Again, it is July 6, 2009. I have as my guest right now, in the studio I have Kevin Annette, and on the phone I have a local hip-hop artist, a very brave individual who's done numerous good songs I really enjoyed, especially that last one on Bohemian Grove, Gemineye, who's from Conspirituality. Hello, Gemineye.
Hey, how you doing, Reggie?
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I mean, that was a beautiful song. I really enjoyed it. And, you know, right off the bat, I'd like to ask you one thing. When I was down in the United States of America, I ran into this group called the Order of the Owl. Have you ever heard I know that in the Bohemian Grove, there's an owl there. Have you heard anything about this group?
Separately, I mean, I know about the Bohemian Grove, the 40-foot stone owl Moloch. I haven't separately heard of the Order of the Owl. Now, I'm going to make an assumption and assume that it's one and the same, because the owl symbolism shows up quite often. You can find it in the street plan of Washington, D.C. You find it as the main logo for the Bohemian Club. You find that presidents, royalty of the royal family, and even popes constantly do the devil symbol, or the forked or the horned owl symbol that it's also known as. I don't know if you're familiar with seeing any of that. So I know that the owl symbolism and the Order of the Owl is huge in the United States, probably more so in Europe also.
And what happens is you're going to be doing that song that we were just playing right there, you're going to be doing a video for it. And are you going to be basically having, in the background pictures from the Bohemian Grove?
Well, we've had a couple shoots so far. We've done 3 different scenes for Bohemian Rhapsody. The first verse is about Bohemian Grove, and the second verse is about Skull and Bones. So for the Bohemian Grove scenes that we've shot so far, we had a big fire ritual with certain presidents, governors, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tony Blair, certain members of Bohemian Grove dancing around the fire in front of owl symbolism. We made an attempt to make a 40-foot owl, but it didn't quite work, so we're going to turn to green screen, do some performance pieces, and use some of the imagery of pictures and some of the stuff that Alex Jones has been able to put together when he infiltrated Bohemian Grove.
And when are we going to be able to, the listening audience going to be able to watch this? Because, I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
We're going to be able to watch this soon, within a month. We've got a couple more days of shooting, and then it goes to editing. And the editing process, I think he's going to be putting in a couple weeks. But as soon as it's ready, you'll get an email. It'll be updated on our YouTube page. It'll be updated on our MySpace, on our website. So as soon as that's available, I'll be letting everybody know.
And you know about this, there's this female group that's called the Belizean Grove, and they're basically the female version of the Bohemian Grove. You've heard about them?
I recently have just heard about them. My partner Zadok was telling me about them, and then I was discussing with you online yesterday about them. And I guess they were founded in 1999 by Susan Stotberg, from former Westinghouse broadcasting executive. That's all I really know about it, but I guess it's supposedly as powerful as the male group. I don't know of who any of the actual members are. This is new to me, so I'm really intrigued to actually start looking into it and find out what's actually been going on there and when they meet. Like Bohemian Grove meets in July. I'm not sure when the ladies meet. I believe it's in New York City, somewhere on 17th East and 89th Street in New York City. So I don't know what's in New York City, if they've got a grove or if it's inside a building or what's going on. Do you know much more? I'd love to know more.
Well, I've come across their website, right, and I'll spell it for the listening audience, so that way if you want to go and check it out, I'm going to spell it phonetically, because that's what I was taught in the military. It's Bravo, Echo, Lima, India, Zulu, Echo, Alpha, November, Golf, Romeo, Oscar, Victor, Echo.com. And if anyone wants to go check that out, I suggest go checking it out, because I ran across this a couple days ago, and it just blew my mind, because what it's almost like the Bohemian Grove's been in existence for 130 years, what they're saying, and all of a sudden this group basically is started in 1999. So it's like the New World Order is basically taking the male and the female and using it to get what they want in the end run. Could you talk a little bit more about the Bohemian Grove? Like, what exactly goes on during their? I know you're singing about it in your song. Could you tell us a little bit more?
For sure. What we know is they meet up in July. Aristocratic, blue-blooded presidents, Republican and Democrat, mostly Republican. No females. I've heard rumors that Queen Elizabeth was the only female that's ever been allowed to attend Bohemian Grove. I know that there's women employees that cater it, but Alex Jones is broken in there. I'm sure people are quite familiar with that, and if they're not, they could check out Alex Jones' video, Prison Planet and InfoWars, where he actually infiltrated with a camcorder and caught the cremation of care ceremony, which is done in front of a 40-foot stone owl, where large quantities of people are cloaked up, they're dancing around fire, and they actually do a sacrifice, a mock sacrifice that we're assuming, to an effigy that they burn, and you can hear some screaming when it's going on. And they claim that they're doing this to get rid of all the worries of the year and all the stress that's been piled up on them politically, that they need a week in the woods to dance around and kind of do this stuff. But, I mean, mostly what I've been able to put together, with the exception of the rituals that some people find to be extremely satanic, anti-Christian, and to say the least, is they're discussing agendas and putting things into motion behind closed doors. There's a famous picture of Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, and the creator of plutonium at Bohemian Grove, and that's when Richard Nixon wasn't president yet. Ronald Reagan was still a B-movie actor, and somehow they're still all kicking it together in Bohemian Grove, and there's a famous photo taken of that. So it's quite interesting, the things that have been alleged to have gone on there. There's also been lots of weird reports of male prostitution rings and snuff films going on there. There's rumors that Hunter S. Thompson had done something there regarding a snuff film. It's loosely come up, I don't know, online, like rumor mills and what's actually true, but it has something to do with what's known as the Franklin cover-up. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, that involves Boys Town. Basically, I brought someone on in the past. Past guest was talking about Boys Town. That's over in, if I remember properly, that's over in. Actually, the name of the state, it starts with an N, but it's Nebraska. That's the name of the state.
Okay.
Yeah. What happened was that Boys Town, it involved members of the Republican Party who got involved, and somehow it traced over to I think Bush Senior. It traced over to, and possibly over to Channing too, if I remember the article properly. And the scary part about this, all of a sudden, first of all, the article comes out, and next thing you know, it's sort of hush, pushed to the back. Something else happens, and people don't really. It's not really a big event afterwards, so nothing was really done about it, and it's still allowed to exist. I mean, that's kind of the sick thing about it.